Hi everyone, it's Kim from Kim Taylor Ultimate Speaker, bringing you another Momentum Monday Ultimate Speaker TV episode. And today I felt drawn to talk with you about the 6 core needs. Now, Tony Robbins talks about the 6 core needs, the human drivers that actually drive us internally. And they're all based on we're wired in our brain. This is how we grew up. It's how those neurological wiring happened when we started off our life. And what happens is our external factors encourage or help to create that wiring, that neural network. So what we're going to talk about today is how these drive us in relation to our speaking and our communication. So an example of this, one of the 6 core needs is certainty. Now, certainty, we actually are drawn to one. We are one more than the others. And we are always a mix of them, but we're one more than the others. And my core need, my main core need is certainty. I'll run through the whole lot in a moment, but my core need is certainty. So I have a choice. What happens is if I know that my core need is certainty, and I can look at certainty in a resourceful way or an unresourceful way, depending on how it's driving me. Okay. So to give you a quick story before I explain what the 6 core needs are and how they relate to speaking and how you're getting out there and communicating with the world. The 6 core needs. So what happened was, we're looking for an off-road vehicle, and it's the Global Warrior, so that we can explore some of the really remote parts of Australia. Now, I know that my core need is certainty. So what happens is Chris, my husband, and I decided that we were going to test drive this truck. So off we go. And I'll show you a picture. Here we are. That's the picture of the Global Warrior. So pretty big vehicle. Pretty boxy, big vehicle. And so what happened was, hopped in. Now, I have got my truck license, and that's what we needed to have in order to drive these vehicles, so all good. But then I thought to myself, that was 12 years ago I got my truck license, and yes, I've kept it renewed, it's all good, but I actually haven't driven a truck for a really long time. How am I going to go? So my core driver, my core need was showing up in an unresourceful way for a moment there, going, okay, so, oh my gosh, am I going to be okay? So what I've learned at a really, a long time ago is that how we approach these core needs really impacts and influences how we show up in our life, but also how it influences. And what I've learned is that when we look at it and go, okay, so I'm not feeling very certain around this, how can I find the certainty in this uncertainty? So immediately I thought, well, I can do this. So I know how to drive a truck. I've got the skills. I've driven trucks for a long time when we had the nursery. It's all good. Yes, it's been a little while, but it's like riding a bike. You just don't forget. The other thing I chose to do was I said to Chris, why don't you go first? And he's all good with that. So that I could get a feel for the truck before I hopped in behind the wheel and drove the truck. Do you know what? It all went well. All because I changed the way I was choosing to think about this. And that's the core thing. We can do it resourcefully, or we can do it unresourcefully. And these drivers really impact the choices that we make, because we're wired in our brains based on how we've grown up, just like I was sharing before. So they impact. So what happens is, with that awareness, it impacts how we make the choice around that. So what are the core needs? Okay, so the core needs were certainty. You know that one because that's my top core need. Then there's uncertainty or variety. So what happens is we have a base core need of certainty. That's the thing we need to feel secure in our lives, whether it's personal, professional, things that are showing up. We want to feel like there's a foundation, a security there. Once that need is being met, then we move to uncertainty or variety. We seek looking for that variety on a physical level, emotional level. We seek variety in our lives. Once we have certainty, we seek that. Then once that's all good, we seek significance. Now the significance is how we feel, the importance, how we feel within ourselves. It's how much we feel needed. That might be a better way of putting it. It's the significance that we give ourselves. It's how we feel others give us significance. It's how important, how much we feel needed. Once that need is met, love and connection plays an important role. So love and connection is grouped as one. So that's the fourth one. And that one is our human-to-human connection. That is how we really connect with ourselves, with others, and that's the next core need that needs to be met. Now, when those four core needs are being met, then that's the basis, that's a good basis for what's driving us. What happens is, to come into the next two core needs, that's growth and contribution, we need to have those four basically met before we can move into growth and contribution. Now, growth and contribution is beautiful because when we are meeting those two needs or core needs, we feel the most fulfilled within our lives. We feel the most fulfilled within ourselves. And that might be, you might relate to this, when we decide, okay, I'm going to create a business, I'm going to communicate with the world and share the story, share my life, be able to help people on whatever level and whatever realm that is for you. And so we get out there and we do that. And that's when we feel the most fulfilled as human beings. Anthony, as I say, Tony Robbins came up with the 6 core needs, and he explains it beautifully in his blogs if you want to look for further information on it. But that's just like an overview of what those 6 core needs are. The thing is, it's about how we look at them. It's how we approach those core needs so that we're approaching our life resourcefully. Because, for example, when it comes to our core needs, if, for example, certainty is your core need and you're feeling very uncertain about that, then that's, think about how that's going to impact how you communicate with the world. Think about how that might stop you from doing Facebook Lives, from doing group talks to network groups, or going out and speaking to people one-on-one on a professional basis. Have a think about how that might impact how you do videos and how you get your message out there if you're not feeling like you can do it. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to question. First of all, think about, what is your core need? What is your main driver out of those 6? Because we have all of those within us, but what's your main core driver? And then how could you do it even more resourcefully so that you're showing up differently? Just like I did with the truck. I found the certainty in the uncertainty. Uncertainty around driving a truck, but I found the certainty in that I do have my license. They wouldn't have given me my license unless I knew what I was doing. And also I chose to watch. I chose to watch and observe and get a feel for the truck before I drove it. The choices that we make. And this is what it's all about. It's how we make those choices. So look, let me know if you've got questions around this. If you've got something that's showing up perhaps that might be, resistance, or you feel something is holding you back. Let's have a conversation, and you can always book in a 30-minute complimentary session with me, or private message me, and we'll have a conversation about what that is for you and what you're looking for. All right, so this has been great. Let me know how you go and what you got from it, and go and check out Tony Robbins as well. Actually, Tony Robbins has a great quote which I've brought with me, and it says, "Whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis is exactly what you will experience in life." And that is so true, isn't it? So this is Kim from Ultimate Speaker. Look forward to connecting with you next time, and take best care. Bye now.